Hi everyone, it's David Wheeler at Wycombe Wanderers and you're listening to the Wycombe Wanderers Show.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. We're into season 4, already in the early stages. I'm not sure which episode it is, mainly because I'm not sure whether the Joe Jacobson testimonial preview counts. But we've done a show after that and now there's this one.
3.
Thank you. 3, I've had it officially confirmed. This is show 3 of season 4. Welcome. Thank you so much. A lot's happened, hasn't it, in the past few weeks. So we've had a number of new signings. We've had one league game, one defeat. We've had one cup game, one win, one cup draw, and that's been about it, hasn't it, really? In an eventful sort of first week of the season. Lots to get through in this next coming hour. We'll be chatting. We'll give you some highlights actually from Tuesday night. First up, in a few moments' time, we'll hear from Phil with our match briefing. We'll look ahead to the trip to Lincoln on Saturday. We'll hear from manager Matt Bloomfield. We'll chat to new signing Harry Boys, and if the expression "been with a shot" means anything to you, which it probably will, that'll give you a bit of a clue, if not almost the answer, to who our first appearance, thanks to the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association of the season, will be. It's Marcus Bean, in case you don't know. We'll be hearing from him and some tales of that goal and the other one as well, and the celebration, and lots more as well, including what he's up to these days after his 5 years at the club. But first, as promised, some highlights from Tuesday night at Stadium MK.
Good evening, everybody. We are live at Stadium MK for the League Cup or EFL Cup first round game between MK Dons and Wycombe Wanderers. Sorry, I forgot to say League 2 MK Dons and Wycombe Wanderers. My mistake. That's a good tackle by Scowen. And now Breckin's got the platform to run into the edge of the area. He feeds Vokes now. Taylor side foots it, just inches wide. Lovely move by Wycombe Wanderers. Potts skips past Norman again and finds Taylor once more. Taylor, edge of the box, goes for goal. Oh, it's just past the post. I don't think the keeper's got a touch. And that's a goal kick. And Freddie Potts there.
Yeah.
The first pass was a loose one, but he reacted quickly, got it back, and the second pass was superb. And then he's turned possession over again and beat Norman like he didn't exist. Into Scowen. Wycombe building out from the back again from that goal kick. Tafazoli has the ball. Skips away from Gilby. Thinks it in towards Vokes. Vokes flicks onto Breckin. Breckin gets away from Tucker. Tucker through to Grimmer. Grimmer! Just past the post, left-footed. Grimmer saying there's a deflection. Lovely move from Wycombe Wanderers. And Jack Grimmer joining the party from right wing-back. Tucker takes a touch into the penalty area, showing it to Vokes. Taylor through on goal. He's been blocked. Goes for goal now. Off the line.
Cleared off the line.
What a touch from Vokes. The back heel to Taylor.
What a touch from Vokesy.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing touch from Vokesy. Taylor was through on goal. The defence recovered quickly. Taylor, though, was going towards the centre of the penalty area. He finally got his shots away and it was cleared off the line in the bottom corner. Great defending from MK Dons. What a move by Wycombe, but they're coming again with Grimmer. Grimmer into the box. Taylor's there. Diving header goes behind for a goal kick. Scowen as well getting in, and Vokes comes away with it. Vokes goes for goal. Smashes it off the crossbar. The whistle had already gone.
Yeah.
What a strike from Sam Vokes.
He's looking really good, isn't he, tonight, with his striking and catching people off guard.
Potts puts the ball out wide to DeBar. Gives it back to Potts. Potts. Cross comes in.
Oh, does well.
Taylor's at the near post and it's bundled home.
Yes!
Brandon Hanlon gets Wycombe underway for the season. Lovely bit of play from DeBar and Potts. Potts just thundered his way into the box and put the ball into the area. McGillivray got a touch and Hanlon bundled home the ball into the empty net to give Wycombe Wanderers the lead. Their first goal of the season. MK Dons 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1. Brandon Hanlon turns over possession, rolls the ball into the box, finds Taylor. Taylor wants it on his right, goes for goal, brilliant save. TJ DeBar on the rebound, the excellent save again from McGillivray. Double save from the MK Dons keeper, keeps it at 1-0 to Wycombe Wanderers. Dale Taylor put it onto his right, great effort, even better save. TJ DeBar, first time effort on the rebound, and an even better save the second time around. Corner to Wycombe. Keogh's up there making the run, they go to the back post, looking for Hanlon. Hanlon heads across the face of goal, and there it is! Big Chris Farino.
Get in there.
Hanlon heads the ball back into the 6-yard area, and Chris Farino in front of the Wycombe faithful up in the gods. Heads home into the empty net.
Get in there.
MK Dons 0, Wycombe Wanderers 2. TJ DeBar, edge of the penalty area, goes back to Grimmer. Grimmer across the face of goal. Oh, Damani Miller All he had to do was turn it into the back post, and he hasn't connected. And Jack Grimmer,
unlucky,
who was stretching out his calf muscles a few seconds ago,
right now,
has sprinted down the right-hand side and smashed the ball across the face of goal. And Mella just could not turn it round the corner. And there we go, the referee blows his full-time whistle. A clean sheet, 2 goals, and into the next round, Jason. That's a good night's work.
Yeah, that's a good night's work. Perfect performance from the boys. Great reaction from the weekend. And winning habit is one that you want. So yeah, great night's work, great team performance, some really, really good individual performances in there as well. So brilliant from the boys.
We'll leave you with the full-time score here at Stadium MK. MK Dons 0, Wycombe Wanderers 2. We're in the second round.
It's just occurred to me, if you're new to the show, I didn't explain who that was. Phil Catchpole, of course, our match commentator on a Saturday, bringing you all the games live, and a Tuesday as well. In fact, any day when there's a game on, he's usually at it, bringing you the action. Ably assisted on Tuesday night in Milton Keynes as well by Jason McCarthy. He was providing the backing vocals and excellent assistance there. I've been speaking to Phil as well, of course, who you can hear ringing the blues on a Tuesday and often on Wanderers TV as well. I'm trying to think where else you can find him. Probably other places. But he was at the training ground a little earlier on. He was positioned, I can give you his almost exact location, by an aerial, he was telling me, which controls the robotic lawnmower. See, brilliant insight. You don't get that on other shows, do you? And caught up with him a little earlier on, as I say, at the training ground. I tell you that because it sounds a bit windy, but in case you're wondering. And caught up with him and just to reflect on the first couple of games of the season, really.
Mixed results, quite literally. Very disappointed after the opening day of the season. I think as was everyone around the club as well, not least the fans. So all eyes went to Stadium MK on Tuesday in the League Cup, and it was a much better performance all round, and you could start to see some really good signs between the new lads, especially sort of linking up. There was this lovely moment in the second half between Vokesy and Dale Taylor, backheel from Vokesy, and all that was missing was the finish, and there was some fantastic defending from the MK defender in the end. These things are starting to click now. Obviously, with such a big turnover of players, there was always going to be a bit of time for everyone to get used to each other and work it out and stuff. But really positive, not just the result. I think the overall performance from everybody in the squad. I thought Joe Lowe at centre-back for his Wycombe Wanderers debut was superb, and the clean sheet was equally as well received as the win. And obviously going into the second round, and we now know that we've got Sutton. It's given us a platform, hopefully a home game against a lower league team, hopefully then to get into the next round, and then who knows.
Because I think fans are naturally impatient, aren't they? And they want this new look team to hit the ground running. But I guess it's only natural that there's a lack of cohesion in the opening games. Yeah,
I think everybody at the club wants to hit the ground running and get the results as quickly as possible. And I think it was frustrating on Saturday as well, because pre-season, so much hard work around, and there's been so many obstacles and things to overcome during pre-season, which every club will have. It's Matt Bloomfield's first full pre-season as a manager as well in the summer. There's so many things that have gone against him as well in that. It's been a really positive environment, and everything else has been challenges to overcome. And hopefully, after the game on Tuesday night, we can convert that into a league performance at Lincoln on Saturday, and we can get those results up and running.
And a great show of resilience from the team to bounce back from that opening day disappointment to do well in the Cup on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was really interesting to have a chat with some of the boys after the game as well, and just saying that that the overall message was, of course, be disappointed, but let's not hit the panic button here. Let's believe in the process of what we're doing and apply what we're doing at the training ground into a match day environment. And I think having the likes of Vokesy and Josh Scowen starting as well really, really helped us establish sort of figures at the Wycombe squad over the last few years. And that was echoed really by what Matt Bloomfield said in the post-match at Stadium MK.
Obviously, we needed to right some wrongs from the weekend. We were really disappointed about that, but our message was clear to the boys that we were staying calm. We weren't going to overreact from one result. It was obviously a tough start to the game, and we needed to make sure we showed the fans and we showed everyone around us that we were going to go and put in a performance, and I thought we did that tonight.
5 changes from that side from Saturday as well, but starts for Josh Scowen and Sam Vokes. Was that an indication of where they're at now with their after their pre-season was blighted by injury and illness?
Yeah, I think for some of our boys, this is their pre-season. Those changes were planned on an hour. They've done, Josh done 45 on Saturday, so we're now trying to bring him up to an hour and get him safely up and to 90 minutes as quickly and as safely as we possibly can. So those 2 were planned. Another couple were planned as well, but we had to abandon all good plans because we got a couple of knocks and had to make a couple of other changes. So I think that's probably where an indication of where we are. We're still, maybe slightly behind in terms of our fitness for some of the boys, but I was really pleased in terms of how the finishes came on and really impacted the game tonight. I thought Brandon was fantastic, and TJ and Luke. Name them all. They can't leave anyone out, but I thought the finishes come on and it really helped us get over the line, which was a good impact to see.
And what about the clean sheet as well? Because Joe Lowe, Chris Farino and Tafazoli there as a new back three in terms of starting positions tonight. A really good performance all round.
Yeah, again, I think that obviously Chrissy's pre-season has been really hampered, and he's had minutes hard to come by, and Taf has had a couple of bits going on as well, but Joe's done a whole pre-season, so in terms of forming partnerships it's been really, really hard really. So obviously Saturday the team picked itself, and tonight we were able to kind of move it around a little bit, and that, I thought they performed really well. Joe, we're really pleased with Joe. He come in on trial, and we thought a lot of him because he played against us for Walsall last season when we were at Colchester, and he just keeps proving everybody what a good player he is, so we're really pleased with him, and I thought it was nice to see Chris get his goal, and obviously him and Taff were very good as well, so we're really pleased to get a clean sheet, of course.
Taff had to come off though in the second half. Concerns on that one?
Yeah, I think he got a couple of knocks, Taff, and still, he had cramping up as well. He's not done anywhere near a full pre-season, so again another one that we've got to kind of be really wary of. It's a tough one at the minute because any team selection, you're having to try and do it with a really kind of responsible head on. So Saturday was so, tonight was so, the subs were so. So that we'll keep trying to manage the boys through, and hopefully we get stronger as the days and the games go on.
And the three loanees, the youngsters, Cian Brecken, Dale Taylor and Freddie Potts as well, all showing good signs tonight too.
Yeah, big pitches. When we come away from home, we are going to play on some big pitches. It was important for us to have those legs to get about, and I thought the boys played really well. Really pleased for Potsy. We were asking him to then go and get forward and break those lines as well if we play a double pivot, and he obviously did for the first goal. So Dale had a couple of chances as well, looking sharp, and Breck's just finding his feet on that right hand side. So some promising side for those boys. We know they're going to take a little bit of time to really settle into the building and be at top notch, but they've getting themselves in the group really nicely, and we're pleased with them.
Really nice to hear from the manager, and we'll hear from him more later on in the show as well. And also one of the new signings, Harry Boys, and something that they both mentioned, a word they both mentioned is grit, and obviously it's useful in the winter, but also it's great to see that in a team as well.
Yeah, you can pass the ball to death around the pitch, but you need to have that grit and determination as well to get things across the line, and it's about finding that balance. And I thought at times at Stadium MK, Wycombe did that really, really well. And when the subs came on, there was no sort of drop in that intensity, and it was really good to see Brandon get the opening goal of the season, not just for himself but for the whole team, in a competition where he scored his first ever goal for the club.
So really great news for Brandon, as you say, and great going into this game at Lincoln. But I guess at this stage of the season, it's quite tricky to kind of know what to expect from either side, really. Yeah,
when we look at the results of Lincoln City, they lost 3-0 on the opening day. They won 2-0 in the Cup on Tuesday night, exactly the same as us, although I think Lincoln fans may like to point out that they lost 3-0 at Bolton Wanderers, who've been widely tipped to be right at the sharp end of the table this season. So it's very difficult at this stage to get any form of pattern because they'll be signing players. In fact, I believe they've signed a player today. It's a new season. They've got a settled squad in largely. They've got a settled manager now, Mark Kennedy, who did a really good job last season and made them really, really solid. They'll be looking to make more of the games they haven't lost. They drew so many last season. They're going to be looking to build on that. And if they can, then they're going to be a real force in this division. It's a really tough division to call before you put even in all these vagaries that we've just spoken about in. So we all know that Sincil Bank is a tough place to go. There's been some pretty brutal, gruelling games down the years there. The atmosphere is going to be cracking. Their fans really get behind the team there as well. It's the first home game of the season for them. So there is going to be challenges in this, but these are challenges that these boys are going to have to relish and get their teeth stuck into, and I believe they will. And I'm really looking forward to them building on Tuesday night's performance.
And great to have David Wheeler alongside you last Saturday as well. Really brilliant to have his insight as well.
Yeah, fantastic for Wheels to make his commentary debut. A tough game for him in the end because, let's not forget it's his teammates there that were also losing 3-0 and sometimes that's a difficult thing to do. But he's a wise owl, David Wheeler, and very measured response and really good insight as well. As was Jason McCarthy on Tuesday night. So it's always good to get the players' perspective because they can actually tell you exactly how it feels, what's going through their mind at certain Petra, and also explain why certain things happen or why decisions are made like they are, and other things that we just don't understand as the sort of the fan on the terrace or in the press box or wherever we are. So yeah, always appreciative to get a player up there, and hopefully we can have someone talking about a win on Saturday.
And obviously another away trip. Will Wooden Ducks be something that you'll be in search of once again this campaign?
Well, it's a long journey from Wycombe to Lincoln, longer than perhaps most people realise, and it's not really on the major roads, so we could be sort of going a bit off piste in terms of our stops. So you never know what's going to crop up. Wooden Ducks have been in scarcity now for the last 18 months. Whether it's been affected by the war in the Ukraine, I don't know, but hopefully they return. Wetsuits, however, have always been on sale at nearly every single services I've been at, regardless of where they are in the country. So will that continue? Wycombe Sound to find out as the season unfolds.
Pleasure to catch up with Phil. Again, if you're new to the show, I should explain that in previous seasons, Wooden Ducks is something which he's been looking for at service stations, but it appears wetsuits, as mentioned, are also extremely popular now. Perhaps that's to do with the climate change. That's why that has. Brilliant to hear from the manager, of course. Excellent in the background. Lawn mowing as well. You can often hear mowers, can't you, in post-match interviews. I think from my experience, Huddersfield they have the loudest mowers in the background of post-match interviews. It's gone very horticultural, this show, hasn't it? That's two mentions of lawn mowers. We had the robotic one a little earlier on that Phil was stood near the aerial of. And now that. Don't forget you can hear that chat with Matt Bloomfield in full on Wanderers TV, and also post-match from Brandon Hanlon as well, one of the goal scorers, on Tuesday night. And also Chris Farino. You've probably seen those photographs on the club's social media as well of Chris bleeding after his goal, really for the team. And interesting to hear about his pre-season as well, which has been somewhat hampered, so great to see him back as well. Still to come on the show, we'll hear more from Matt Bloomfield, who we spoke to at the training ground a little earlier on today, which also includes a reference to chocolate brownies, which I feel I ought to explain, otherwise I just think it's weird. That's coming up a little later on as the Wycombe Wanderers Show continues here at Wycombe Sound.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Still to come on this week's edition of the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we'll have a chat with Luke. Our show has a new logo for the new season, some behind-the-scenes news on that. It's not as exciting as I made it sound. And also we've got some travel news in terms of the approach road to Adams Park and the improvements therein. All that and more on the way in the next hour, or in the rest of this hour I should say. Not in the next hour, we've only got 1 hour. We'll also hear from Harry Boyes too. First of all, however, we've signed a new deal, sort of, with the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association. Each week we'll continue our chats with stars who've worn the famous sky blue and navy blue quarters. I should have written it. This should have been like properly done, but I've just winged it, really, or wung it. Is that an expression? Anyway, first of the new season, I'm very excited to give you the opportunity to hear from Marcus Bean, the former midfielder, of course, who is famous for that goal, which we'll discuss. But first, his earliest memories of his time at the club.
I think the first thing was just obviously getting that initial call from Gaz. I'm calling him Gaz, I'm not calling him Gaffer now. Having played with him, Carl schooled with him when we were at QPR, and obviously watching his career develop from afar, keeping Wycombe in the Football League, and then, just getting that phone call. And it was one that I felt I had to answer in terms of, I really wanted to work with him again. I think I've got on well with him as a player, and I was always just intrigued to see how get on with him as a manager. And thankfully, it was some really good times at the club. I remember making my debut. I remember playing in midfield with Josh Scone and thinking, "Oh, what a great player this is!" And then he was gone, I think, the next week. And I just remember, they were probably the main two memories I take from my first time there. The phone call from Gaz, and then that my debut, and playing alongside Josh, who I thought was a player that was destined for bigger and better things.
And you must have settled in really easily. And as you say, knowing the manager, and he must have been great to play under. And, you hear about the culture that he built at the club during those 10 years, but it must have been fantastic to be a part of it.
Yeah, I was probably one of the, if not the easiest place I've been able to integrate into for the reasons you just mentioned. I think, number one, the fans are really special people. They're, it's a really tight-knit club. You feel like everyone's pulling in the same direction. Compared to other places I've been, there's not that same kind of fan abuse from the side. If you misplaced passes, and you get at every club to a certain degree. But Wycombe, it's like people are a lot more patient, it feels like. Then you go on to the players, the culture that Gaz built there. Everybody was just so welcoming, no bad eggs. It's just such a good place to play at. And I always used to say to the players, especially the young lone boys, this place is very unique. So savor it, because you go out elsewhere, the dressing room is not like this. And I think just speaking to players that have gone out, left the club and gone elsewhere, they would all attest to that. What Gaz built there was something special. So yeah, hats off to him and Dobbo and Waitsy and everybody that was involved in building that, because it's difficult to do.
I remember as well, you became so quickly such a fan's favourite, and always having time for supporters, especially like in the car park, having your photo taken and always, sparing the time.
Yeah, I think that's anyone that doesn't do that, I think is out of order. I think it's the least you can do. People take time, spend money to come and watch games, and I think it's important that you not only give back but spend time with the people that are supporting you. It's something that was ingrained in me, to be polite and manners-able, and I'll be honest with you, I think, as I said before, I think everybody there, to a man, would probably like that, but yeah, it's something that I feel is a given, to show those basic appreciation and spending a bit of time, and again, it's a culture thing. It's the club was like that. Everybody was always, as players, I can attest to that. We all used to say what a great place it was to be at, and we always tried to give back wherever possible.
And really nice for you to be able to play such a key part in getting to the League Two playoff final.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I think we're all disappointed that we didn't do it automatically. And as good as getting to Wembley is, honestly, I've been there a couple of times before, and yeah, we go there and lose. It's gut-wrenching. I can't really watch that game back. I know it's on Sky annually, or probably more than annually, because I always get a little message saying you're on TV again, Beanie. But it's something I've never really watched back, because it's still painful to this day, especially the manner in that we lost. But listen, I played my part as did many, and it just wasn't to be on the day. But yeah, eventually we managed to get the job done.
So did you as players, it sounds like almost quite a cliche thing to say, but did you as players really use that experience to kind of drive you forward after that as well, though?
I think any time that you, not just that experience, listen, that you experience failure, you want to put it right and set the record straight. But I just think that promotion campaign in general gave us the experience, and I think in the key moments where we broke maybe that season, the next season we took that experience, and we were a year older, year more experienced, and we were able to channel that into being able to get ourselves out of the league. I think it wasn't just necessarily that experience; it's just the whole playoff, that whole campaign, kind of made the next season a little bit more easier when we got into those crunch situations to be able to handle the pressure. And
February the 3rd, 2018 is a date I'm sure you'll never forget either.
That was a crazy day, right?
What was your kind of, I guess, initial kind of, was to sort of talk us up to the goal festival?
First of all, I took a lot of stick that season from players in the dressing room and staff. And when are you going to score, Beanie? It was like a running joke. And then obviously leading up to that, fans saying shoot. That's something I could hear from the stand. I tried to block everything out, but that was just one thing that always stuck in my head when I got anywhere near the edge of the box. Shoot. And I groaned when I turned it down. So that day I just thought at that game, it was one of those games where, as you know, it ebbed and flowed, and there was just so much controversy. And it was just one of those days I thought to myself, listen, I might as well have a crack, because it's the last kick of the game almost. If it goes over the bar, it is what it is. Waste a couple more minutes. We're down to was it 10 then, I think, at the time. So just remember the ball coming out, and I just thought to myself, listen, just hit the target first and foremost, and then, you never know. And then, just managed to catch it quite cleanly, and it kind of flew into the bottom corner. And then, obviously all pandemonium broke loose. And I think everyone was just more obviously buzzing for the win, but quite happy for me, because they know how long it's taken to get to that point, and the amount of stick they've given me. So it's quite funny. So I think everyone thought it was quite a funny as well as a great occasion, because we won the game, and it was such a crazy game as well.
Almost as memorable as the goal is the celebration, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just went on a run, trying to find my mum and dad. It was, and it's quite a funny story. I think everyone's probably heard it now, but and went to the box. I think they were one of the boxes at the other end of the ground, and I'm looking up and I couldn't see them. I haven't got great eyesight, so I was squinting and trying to see them, and they'd gone. And I thought they might have gone, because I think they do leave a little bit early to get out of the ground, and so that's why I was sprinting off in that direction. It wasn't for any reason. Everyone says as fast as I've probably run, and they're probably right. It was just a emotion fueled moment there, really. Just, it was great, because my dad is one of those people that gave me a lot of stick about not scoring as well. So I just wanted to see him and rub it in.
And so many people, said they were there. There was a T-shirt, and obviously the club's video was named after it as well. That must have been so. There's probably a feature film as well in the offing at some point. But it must be brilliant to have that kind of ingrained, if you like, in the club.
Yeah, I think so. I think what made it unique was obviously the timing of the goal. People go long times and score goals. I think it was Lloyd Doyley. I think it went for, I can't remember how long, but he went for years without scoring, and they scored a goal. But I think it was just like the occasion, the sending off, the ebb and the flow of the game. Obviously, me not scoring. It was the last kick of the game. It just all kind of rolled into that one, just made it even more special, I think. And then obviously there was the T-shirts that kind of needed to be remade after the Exeter game when I went and scored again, which was quite funny, kind of ruined the club's idea of, making all this money from selling T-shirts. And then obviously, it's something that everybody pulls me about who's a Wycombe fan, and even sometimes not even Wycombe fans. I've got a couple of Carlisle fans that always come up to me and they tell me about that goal as well. So it's kind of like etched into folklore, I suppose.
It's lovely for you as well that you'll always have that as well.
Yeah, no, it was a special moment, a special moment in my career for sure. And then that whole season and as a whole really was just, things made the fairy tale stuff really, So that was just one part of it for sure.
And really nice that you're able to be at the club for 5 years, and part of, I guess, quite an elite group who've made over 100 appearances. That must feel nice too. Yeah, it was, and as I said before, is I've had some tough times in my career, but that period of that at Wycombe was one I look back on fondly to this day. Not only just for how the club treated me, but my family when they used to come to games. We always talk about that experience at that club and at Brentford. They're the two clubs that my parents have always, had a very good experience at. So, no, I thank the club for and the fans for taking me under their wing, and for how they treat myself and my family. It means a lot. And are there any other sort of games or experiences or goals that really stand out during your time at the club? But there's so many. I think goals-wise, this is not for myself. I didn't only scored a couple, but I remember probably the sign of Ebere, and watching how he developed was amazing. The friends I made from that time, at my time at the club, it's just too many to say. Honestly, I think. One thing is that what we still stay in touch, myself, and there's we've got a group of guys there that we stay in touch a lot, which is quite, for me, was quite unusual. Not that I stay in touch with many people from other clubs, not that I don't have a tremendous amount of respect for them, but from that period, I've stayed in touch with quite a lot of guys, and that's important to me, building those relationships. And really nice that you got to come back a couple of weeks ago as well for JJ's testimonial. Yeah, that JJ's testimonial was a great occasion. He's
he's definitely a Wycombe legend. He's one of those players that, you know, I want to watch him play, and I just always think that he could go on for. He looks like he could go on forever because he's just so tactically astute. Reads the game well. His distances are good. You know, even though his legs might have gone a little bit as they do when you get older. But he's also got a lovely left foot, and he's a leader. You know, he leads by example. And he's been a special servant for the club. And it was only when he asked me to attend, it was a no-brainer because he's one of those players that I got on really well with at the club, and I've got a tremendous amount of respect for. So that was a great occasion, and I'm really happy for him against his old club again, Cardiff. So it was special for him and his family. And again, his family are great. My family and his family, always used to speak at games. So it was good to be there.
It doesn't feel like that long since he left. Overall, how do you look back at your time at the club?
I think it was a very successful period for myself and for the club. Obviously, they kicked on again after that, but I think I've got a habit of going to clubs and starting off the kind of or helping start off the kind of progression, and then they take it on to another level, which I think they have done in all departments, and obviously got to the championship. But in terms of I look at it really fondly, and I think it was one of the most successful periods in my career for sure.
And pleasing for you to see Matt Bloomfield obviously in charge now, someone that you've played with as well.
Again, yeah, Blooms was always destined for management. It was a no-brainer as such. You know, at one point I thought Gaz was going to stay at Wycombe forever, so he might not get the opportunity to manage there. But obviously things evolve quickly in football, and he's managed to get the opportunity to manage. And you know, I wish him all the best. You know, he went away, went to Colchester, and you know, the call to go back to Wycombe was too much, and he's back there. And I think he's going to be a great manager. I think he's got all the attributes to be so and to do so. And yeah, I'll be following his career very closely.
Is management something that interests you?
I do enjoy coaching, and I do a little bit of it in my, I'd say, spare time. You know, trying to help boys that have been released from clubs get back into the system. But at the moment, my passion is more in terms of senior management and potentially becoming a sporting director. I'm really interested in the business of football. It's always been something I've been interested in. I'm quite an entrepreneurial person, and I've always been interested in the business of football. And at the moment, I'm in the recruitment department at Brentford, one of my old clubs. And yeah, I'm what they call the lead Southern Scout. So my job role is looking at 21s and first team players in the UK and the south of England. So I'm kind of working towards that. But yeah, coaching was something that I did look at, and I do I do enjoy doing, but it's more of a passion project rather than something that I want to do career wise.
That must be something really nice for you as well, to be able to sort of pass on, if you like, to youngsters, especially who'll be playing in your position.
Yeah, for sure. I really I understand why people do coaching, because getting that buzz of seeing somebody improve, you know, and take on board what you've said and implement it. And I can get why you get that buzz. And a lot of players do say, I was sat next to a manager on Tuesday, and he was saying himself, you know, like, it's that he misses playing. He wishes he was out doing it. But the second best thing is being on the grass and, you know, and seeing players enact what you want to do and a goal going. He goes, that's the second best thing to playing. And I do completely understand that. It just wasn't for me. But I do love helping the players and seeing them, improve and put in place what you said, and try and give them advice wherever possible. Because these young players, they do need a lot of career advice.
Well, thank you so much for being the first ex-player on the show this season, and thank you on behalf of all the fans, all the great memories that you've given to the club as well.
Thanks for having me.
Real pleasure to speak to Marcus Bean. Do listen out for more ex-players as the weeks continue as well. Really looking forward to catching up with different generations of former Wanderers players on the show. And big thanks, of course, to the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association. Do look out for the Legends Lounge at Adams Park on a home game as well, because you'll see some other great names there as well, including Paul Hayes, I see, in the coming weeks as well.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Final part of the Wycombe Wanderers Show for this week. Still to come, we'll hear from one of the new signings, Harry Boys. We'll hear from the manager, Matt Bloomfield, talking about chocolate brownies, among other things. I'll need to explain that before as well. But first, Luke's with us, talking of new signings. You're one of the club's new signings as well.
That's right, everybody. I'm the new goalkeeper. No, I'm not. That's his Mac's job and Max's jobs only. No one needs me to
I can't imagine you in goal.
I think I'm too short,
yes.
And I don't have the jumping as Max does. Max can jump a long way.
You don't have the jumping.
I don't have the jumping skills as Max does.
No.
Many other skills that he has that I don't have.
But tell us your role. Tell us your title. In
Oh,
fact.
my official title is Wanderers TV producer.
And what does that involve?
Producing Wanderers TV and Phil. It's quite hard sometimes, to be honest. No, it's great. I'm very much enjoying it.
And there are things you're quite proud of that you've produced already?
So far, the gifts have been good fun for the new signings. They're
gifts.
always good fun. Pre-match drills has had a bit of a makeover. It's got a new feature in it as well. Knowing Me, Knowing Blues is back tomorrow, hopefully. Ooh. That's also very good. We've done quite a lot. It's been a busy day today, so I can't really remember what else has happened.
You've been quite involved in some of the new signing reveals as well.
Yeah, so the gifts have been good, and the videos as well, and all the sort of the behind the scenes of that. It's really interesting as well to have a sort of a behind the scenes look at what goes on. Because obviously, from an outside, you see a GIF go up, and that's it. But there's obviously a lot more work than that goes into it.
Fascinating
obviously,
stuff.
Yeah.
And this show as well, you've given the logo that had a bit of a rebrand. Tell us the story behind that.
Well, it's an old photo. I was at Adams Park on yesterday, as it's known as, and I thought, oh, it's actually sunny outside. Let's go and get a new photo, which is what I did. And I sort of was trying to line it up with where the old one is, because it didn't have the Bill Turnbull gantry on it, because it was this time last year that we took it. So I was standing there, I was going, oh, that's where it is, and the sprinklers came on. And I thought they're going to swing round, that I'm going to get soaked. So then I just waited for about 5 minutes in the sunshine.
Quality insight. You don't get this on all sorts of shows, do you?
You don't get this on the BBC, do you?
No. And also, other things that you're known for, of course, as the host of Drive Time.
Where are you going with this, Colin?
I was going to say, so it'd be great if you could bring us some travel news.
Oh, yes, I can. The good news is Hillbottom Road has been resurfaced. Exciting news as well. So it's from the roundabout with Lane End Road all the way up to Adams Park. Silky smooth. Has been causing some of the lorries some problems this week. But yeah, very nice.
Brilliant asphalt update there.
It's looks very nice.
We mentioned lawnmowers earlier. Now road resurfacing. It's all covered on the show.
We've got everything on this show.
This is what you need. Also, what is good about this show is you get to hear from the manager, still to come, and also.
Where's my brownies?
I should explain about the brownies.
Please do.
Or you can explain part about the brownies. So last season when Matt Bloomfield took over, some of the press sessions...
Oh yeah, there was a string of sort of like, Matt, we've got you something.
He was presented with a number of things.
So there was brownies, there was
a signed picture,
a signed photo, a signed team sheet of his first game that he won, and then it was was the last one, because we had nothing else and we felt quite bad.
You presented me.
So we just started clapping, if you remember.
That was nice. I do remember that, yeah.
We didn't have anything else.
No, that was quite nice. So then it was a sort of running joke in that when Matt Bloomfield entered the room, we didn't present him with anything. So I thought it'd be quite appropriate for the first press session of the season to present him with brownies, because they went down quite well. So I acquired some from a nearby brownie seller and presented them. That's all the background you need for the reference of the brownies, which is coming up. It's still to come on the show. But first, caught up with new signing Harry Boys.
Boys.
A little earlier on.
Really enjoyed it. Obviously, Saturday was really disappointing. It's not the start we wanted. But Tuesday night obviously put it right. And I'm really looking forward to the season. Everything's been good so far, other than obviously Saturday, as I said. But no, like the boys and everything's class. The club's just a very good club. So it's only up from here.
And does that give you real encouragement as to how the team responded to the result on Saturday to sort of put things right, if you like, in the performance on Tuesday night?
Yeah, it shows we've got a bit of grit about us. Obviously, MK away, it's a derby as well, and it's a tough place to go, especially they just come off a good win at Wrexham. So for us to put that right in the way we did, obviously clean sheet and scoring two, it's just what we needed as a whole, especially going into the games are coming thick and fast, so we need as much confidence and momentum going into each.
I guess as well, though, you must feel as a group, there's so many kind of new players coming in, and it's bound to take a while for everyone to kind of fit together.
Yeah, I think there was seven on Saturday, I think. 7 on Saturday. So obviously, we're all still getting to know each other. Obviously, we've had pre-season, but pre-seasons, it's tough, obviously, to fully get to know each other. So the more time, obviously, we play together and everything, we're just more gel. So it's only going to get better for us, which now I'm really looking forward to, because obviously there's a lot of quality here, and it's only a matter of time.
And have there been certain things that you've really picked out and thought, oh, that's going to be really good, going forward?
The gaffer's like really passionate, and I feel like he portrays it onto the players. Like, as a squad, I feel like we're really close, and that's massive. Like, especially the aim and the goals we want this season. I feel like all of that plays a massive part. Yeah, just the fact we're all so close together. It's nice. It's top.
And do you feel as well with yourself and the other new arrivals as well? I think it's because fans, don't they, get quite excited about seeing new signings and what it's going to be like to see them on the pitch?
Yeah, obviously I know Breck's, Kieran Breckin, but especially like for all the new boys, they're all coming into a new environment. You've got to try to settle in and stuff. It's different, but obviously it's quite a good group to obviously settle into. And it's only been a short amount of time, but we're all still getting to know each other. But it's good.
Well, I guess it's been sort of fate as well that you're coming up against one of your former teams on Saturday.
Yeah, as soon as I was coming here and I seen the draw, it was a second game away. I was really looking forward to it. It'll be a good one. It'll be a good test for us, but I'm sure we'll be ready.
Does it help in a way? Because obviously, I guess you'll kind of know, how they'll be playing or what to expect, or is it quite different for both teams because there have been so many changes and it's a new season?
Yeah, we've obviously got a lot of new faces, and so I think they've got quite a few as well. I know obviously the boys that were there, there's still quite a few of them still there. So I'll have an idea of how they play, but on the day, anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to think when you know exactly what they're going to do, but it's hard. It'll be a tough test because to go there, obviously it's a good club. The fans are top, so it'll be a big challenge for us. But obviously coming off Saturday, I'm hoping we've got the confidence and momentum to win on Saturday.
I guess because both teams, had a defeat on the opening day, so they'll be, wanting to put many things right when it comes to the league as well.
Yeah, obviously they lost, I think, to Bolton. I think it was 3-0, and then they won the other night. So they're pretty much similar to us. So they'll be hoping for a response as well in the league, which makes it even more exciting because there's more pressure on it. So both teams both looking forward to it.
And other things that both you personally and also collectively in the team want to achieve in the games which are coming up?
As much points as possible. Obviously, we didn't get the start we wanted, so we've kind of got to make up for lost time. Do you know what I mean? We've got to make sure we put it right and pick up as many points as possible because we want to finish as high as we can in the table. And to do that, you've got to get as many points as you can. So first and foremost, I feel like we've just got to put it right on Saturday and get the first points on the board.
Great chatting to Harry Boyce. He's very polite.
Boys. Thank you. Sorry, I can't stop it.
No, clearly. I think you could.
I could, but I'm not going to.
He thanked me for my time.
It's very polite, isn't he?
Yeah, you don't thank me for my time.
Thank you for your time, Colin.
No, but I really enjoyed speaking to him, and make sure you stay tuned. Throughout the season, we'll be catching up with more of the first team. Must be great as well being at the training ground, and as you say, that whole kind of atmosphere as well.
It's people always say this, but it's a really good atmosphere. When you get there first in the morning, the gaffer and the management team are always there first. I think Matt said his alarm went off at 4:00 in the morning this morning to get to the training ground. But it's always really nice, and everyone checks in on each other. Make sure everyone's okay, and where we are located, we're near the canteen. I don't know how that happened. Whoops.
Handy.
Yeah, very handy. And there's always people around. They always come and say hello. So yeah, it's such a lovely atmosphere up at the training ground.
What sort of food's on offer at the training ground?
Today there was chicken in a sauce. It was very nice. There was some rice, some vegetables. There was some burgers. Jack Grimmer was very happy about the burgers. You could hear him across the training ground.
Chicken in a sauce?
Chicken in a sauce, yeah. I don't know what sauce it was, but it was very nice. It tasted lovely.
It was a sauce.
It was a sauce. It was orange, if that helps.
Oh, maybe Spanish.
See?
So this show's gone very culinary now as well. Horticultural earlier, and now culinary.
We did some traffic and travel in the middle.
Absolutely. Quick mention for Wycombe Wanderers women as well, because they're playing their pre-season friendlies at the moment. I think, did we say there was 5 games still to go?
That's what I said last week.
Yes, right. And coming up in the next sort of week or so, we'll be having a special package, would you call it?
Yeah, why not?
Report.
Kind of.
Yeah.
A bit of both.
On the impact of the Women's World Cup on Wycombe Wanderers Women. We'll be hearing from Captain Cara and the manager and some of the other coaches and some of the players as well.
Very nice. Sounds good.
Looking forward to bringing that to you now. Well, let's hear from the manager, Matt Bloomfield, of course, who we spoke to last week. But this time last week, we hadn't had a first game of the season, but we have now. And let's get his thoughts on, the last 2 games, I guess.
I think we've taken a lot. Obviously, one of the main things is we're we're trying to integrate a new group together, which obviously doesn't happen overnight. It takes a little bit of time. We're also got the issues regarding players' fitness, where they've missed a huge chunks of pre-season, if not all of it. So we're trying to bring those boys up to speed. So there's been a lot of learning along the way in terms of where different players are at and how ready they are to contribute and how long they can contribute for. And I guess from our point of view, there's a whole lot of team cohesion and tactical stuff. How much do the boys know what we're trying to do and how quickly can we get to the finished article? I guess you never get to your finished article, but we're trying to improve that process as quickly as we possibly can.
Are there certain aspects of the performances that have pleased you, if you like, and thought, we can definitely work on this going forward?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's been plenty that I've been pleased about, even on Saturday. Apart from the first 10 minutes, I thought we controlled the game to large parts. We're obviously disappointed with the 3 goals we gave away and the penalties. That was nowhere near good enough. But there's other bits of our play that I think maybe you don't appreciate because of the result and because of we had a slight lack of goal threat, but there's certain bits in between both boxes we're really pleased about. But the main point of football is to be the kings of the 2 boxes. So Tuesday night was obviously really pleasing that we kept a clean sheet one end and scored 2 the other. I thought we had a bit more bite about us on Tuesday evening. I thought we had a lot more goal threat, a bit more cutting edge, and we looked a bit more solid as well. So MK did have too many shots for my liking, but a lot of them were outside the box. So actually, in terms of our bypass defenders and our XG was pretty good, and we were pleased with a lot that came from it. But there's plenty to be worked on. Obviously, like I say, we're trying to bring lads up to speed as quickly as possible. We're trying to get the team cohesion and the understanding of what we're trying to do and how we're going about it as accelerated as possible. But it doesn't happen overnight. We've just got to make sure we're moving forward and keep our feet firmly on the ground and look towards the next game. Lincoln's going to be a really tough game. I really like the job that Mark's done there. I think it's a really well organised and well set football club. And they obviously gave us a really tough afternoon when we played them at the end of last season. So we know we're in for a tough one, but we're looking forward to going there in good spirits after Tuesday night.
And you go into this game, of course, just 3 points off of the top of the table.
Exactly. Yeah, we're always looking forward. We're always being positive, and I love that outlook. We have to look forward. I think the main message from myself and my coaching staff over the weekend and early this week was that none of us were panicking after one difficult afternoon. It was obviously far from the first game we wanted. It's far from the start we wanted, but it is what it is. Life doesn't go exactly according to plan all the time. You have to roll with the punches and we have to pick ourselves up. So we managed to do that Monday and Tuesday, and we have to make sure we start gaining some momentum in the league starting this Saturday at Lincoln.
Does it really encourage you as well how the team responded to the defeat on Saturday in that game on Tuesday night? Yeah, definitely. Life's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's about how many times you get up. And I was really pleased with the energy and the vigour we got up on Tuesday evening. That's not to say we didn't, no lack of quality as well. I thought we showed some real good elements to our game with the way we're trying to develop and evolve. And I was really pleased with certain tactical elements of the game as well. So, but first and foremost, it was the mindset and the desire. That's the thing that we demanded before the game. And I was extremely pleased how the lads reacted to that. Do you think as well it'll be a case of both teams on Saturday have a bit of a point to prove because they both lost their opening games, but also both won in midweek, so it'd be nice to put that right in the league as well? Yeah, I was looking through the results on Tuesday evening. It did seem that a lot of teams either lost Saturday and bounced back in midweek, or won their first one and then a couple of surprising defeats around the grounds as well. So yeah, I think it's one where both teams obviously want to get their points total off. We certainly do. I know Lincoln will want to do the same. So we have to make sure we're ready for that. We have high hopes for ourselves. We have high expectations for ourselves. So we want to approach the game in the best possible manner that we possibly can. But also we know that Lincoln will be doing the same thing, and they're a very good team. So we have to respect that fact and not get too ahead of ourselves. And that's certainly not what we do around here. We make sure we respect the opposition, and we know we're in for a tough game. They're a real good team, set up, really well organised, try and play the game as I see it in a good way. And we're looking forward to the game and the test. And do you set yourself a sort of target as to how many games into the season where, you'll really have an idea of how the team are doing compared to, where you'd like them to be? No, I think in an ideal situation, you get that during pre-season, but we haven't had that luxury. I think that it's been well documented. I've said it a number of times, but it's not an excuse, but it's just a fact of life. We've missed a huge chunk of our squad for a huge chunk of pre-season, if not all of it. So we've missed out on a massive learning period for ourselves. Obviously, again, with some of the signings, we've got some loans in, so we had to wait for them to be able to come through from Premier League clubs, which delays that slightly as well. So we have missed out on a chunk for varying different reasons of pre-season. So we're obviously behind in terms of,
the learning curve of where we wanted to be during that pre-season time. But the games are upon us and we have to be ready for them. So we have to accelerate that as quickly as we possibly can. So there's no target set. It's just for me, it's more about continual improvement and trying to be the best you can be every day. We lost on Saturday and won on Tuesday, but it doesn't mean that the reviews are any different. They're both conducted with unemotional eyes, with goods, bads and indifference, and making sure we try and improve on all elements.
And as well, we spoke to you before the start of the season, and there were certain things that you were looking for in the opening performances. Are they things that you've seen so far?
Some of it, yes. Yeah, some of it certainly so. I think that I'm really enjoying the extra energy and pace and mobility that we're playing with. I'm really enjoying how we're playing through the thirds more, how we want to go and set ourselves up. And I just really enjoyed Tuesday night, the grit, that Wycombe grit that we've known to love and cherish for a number of years now. That is something that I certainly don't want to lose. So one of the things I enjoyed Tuesday night, and I said to the boys after the game, was that grit. So yeah, there's certainly been some bits that I've enjoyed, but there's been plenty that I've not enjoyed, and those are the bits you want to improve on. So like I say, it's about just making sure that we can continually to look ways to improve all the time and get better. If we do that, then we're off on the right direction.
I know you've been pleased with how the new signings have been settling in. We spoke to Harry a short time ago, and he was saying how your enthusiasm is rubbing off on him, which must be great to hear from players who are new to the club.
Yeah, I think it's we've spoken about it a bit about new players, old players, but I'm trying to speak to the group as a whole. For me, it's just about getting that group together and as much as we possibly can. I love the fact that we've been able to retain a pure, a real Wycombe knowledge and mindset. Some of the guys we were fortunate enough to keep at the football club, we really wanted to keep them here, and we were lucky enough to do so. And obviously, you add that freshness and that new energy, Harry and the other younger lads who we've signed, but plus you get Luke Leahy with his knowledge and game input as well. And we're really, really pleased with how those guys have settled in. Kane Vincent-Young, Richard Keogh, some of these senior boys that we've been able to recruit as well. So it's just about me being me. I think, if I'm honest, Colin, it's not about trying to be anything else apart from yourself. I love my job. I love life. I love being able to come into this environment. I love this football club and this group of lads. It was one of the main things I wanted to come back in February when I offered the chance, was to come and work with these boys again. I've got so much love and respect for the group that was already here, and I wanted to get the best out of them by supplementing them the best I possibly could to enable them to be the best they could possibly be. So it's about, for me, it's not about new or old. And I know we've spoken about it a few times, old signings, new signings, but getting that group together to be one big family, I think is so important. When we're at our best as a football club, as Wycombe Wanderers, then we have a real cohesive group who drive forward together. And for me, that is everything. I set out to have this environment, the best possible football environment we could experience. And that is my drive every day. So, as long as we're moving forward and the boys are feeling a massive part of it, that's all that matters.
And just finally, were the brownies good?
The brownies were top drawer. Anytime you're in and you feel free to bring some more brownies, they were lovely. Thank you. Kept us going those long afternoons.
Brownies very well received, which is good news. Another word of the week has been grit. Both Harry boys mentioned grit and Matt Bloomfield. Have you experienced grit at the training ground?
No, there's quite large stones, but no grit.
Handy if
it's quite sunny at the training ground today. That's almost a miracle.
It sounded quite breezy when we chatted to Phil. It's often breezy there, isn't it?
They were indoors, so I don't know. Oh, when you speak to Phil, yeah.
Yes. So a busy fixture period coming up in August, still to come. Lincoln City, of course, away on Saturday. You can hear the whole match live here on 106.6 FM and on Wanderers TV, of course. Then at home next Saturday, it's Leyton Orient. You'll be there for that.
I'll be there.
Another home game visit Burton Albion the following Saturday as well. Leyton Orient's on Tuesday. Next Saturday, of course, at home to Burton Albion. And then a trip to Bristol Rovers on the 26th of August. And we've still got the second round of the EFL Cup to come as well. Lots to look forward to this month.
Yeah, with Sutton.
Right.
With Martin O'Neill talking into balls, if you missed it last night.
That was
very
strange.
Entertaining.
I think he thought it was the microphone, didn't he?
I think he knew what he was doing. He thought, if I do something funny, they'll invite me back.
Yeah.
Love you, Martin.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us on in the past hour. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've just tuned in, you've missed it, then there's always the podcast. You might be listening to the podcast now.
Hi.
Thank you very much for having us on. Have a good week. Enjoy the games on Saturday and on Tuesday. Up the week.
Come on, you Blues.